every detail of what was made. Camels can go 10 days with no food or water. Where do they get food and water? From the hump on their back? No. The hump on the back of the camel is not filled with water. We couldn't carry that much water. It's filled with fat. Fat. But the camel can convert that fat into water if it doesn't have any. The technical word for it, I didn't even have to look it up. With my major sources, Google. Metabolism. It changes its metabolism. Did you know that, Abigail? No. Okay,
No.
so you learned something this class, Baruch Hashem.
I did.
Okay. We said the capital given. We learned yesterday about a very, very important idea. I want to go back to it. It shouldn't just be something that we said in class. That truth can be relative. But the relative truth is eternal. Because the relative truth is the truth that's the truth for that level, what particular level. What's true for a 4-year-old is not true for an 8-year-old. What's true for an 8-year-old is not true for a 13 or 12 or 13-year-old. What's true for a 12 or 13-year-old is not true for a 21-year-old under the chuppah. Or for a mother in her 20s and 30s, and so on. But the true point, there's in every level, there's a true middle point. The Torah, Rambam says, we have to take the middle point, the middle road. Oh, not to be extreme this way, not to be extreme that way. What is this way? What is that way? There are two important factors in our service of Hashem: learning, davening, doing mitzvahs. There are two important factors in all of these. What are these two important factors? Like your right hand and your left hand. Your right hand stands for love, things that you love. So we always give tzedakah with the right hand. And the left stands for discipline and fear. So it says, sur meira, push away something that's bad with your left hand. See something bad, push it away. Ve'aseh tov, draw near with your right hand. You want to bring somebody in under the wings of the Shekhinah, we have to separate them from anything that the Hashem does not like, and we draw them near with things that Hashem does like. And the middle way is a perfect balance. Too much love with no discipline is not good. Too much discipline with no warmth is also not good. There has to be a balance. The balance is the middle point. And the middle point in your davening will coalesce perfectly with the middle point in your mitzvahs, the middle point in your character, and the middle point in others, in your understanding and your compassion. So that's very, very important lesson from yesterday, that the middle point will always agree with a middle point on a different level. And the symbol of this in the Torah is the middle bolt in the walls of the Mishkan that goes through the middle point of each plank and holds them all together from end to end. And according to the Kabbalah of the Nachmanides, it even goes around the corners. Rashi's pshat. Pshat doesn't go around corners. So pshat is only from one end to the other. Where does Rashi deviate from pshat? Well, it says that when Moshe Rabbeinu was placed in the Nile, was exactly the same moment that the daughter of Pharaoh came to the Nile. What was she doing there? She was coming to renounce idol worship and accept upon herself the God of the Jewish people. Hashem. So she came to Taival. She came to convert. And because she gave up everything, she was a princess, and she gave up her royal lifestyle in order to embrace the truth of Judaism, the truth of Hashem. And therefore she merited to be the one to discover Moshe. For an amma is a distance between your elbow and your wrist, or up to your fingers. An amma is the measure. She sent her amma, her arm, like Plastic Man. You know about Plastic Man? That's just from my youth. Plastic Man was like a Superman, but he had the ability to extend any of his limbs as not according to his desires. Her arm extended till it reached the cradle. And so she called him Moshe, which means in Egyptian, he was drawn out of the water. The water stands for the wisdom of God, and this is a neshama that came from such a high level compared to the wisdom of Hashem. And he stayed on that level all his life. Okay, so that's one instance just where Rashi seems to deviate from the most simple meaning, but really he doesn't. There's a medrash for it. Anyway, okay. That was the point I wanted to. We have to remember from chapter 14 that the middle point will agree with and correspond to the middle point. The middle point of one level will blend and harmonize perfectly with the middle point of every other level. Chapter 14, page 209. You with me? Della?
Yes.
Okay. Who wants to read? I mean, you didn't read yesterday.
I read a little bit.
A little bit, so read a little bit more. Page 209.
Now, the rank of the Beinoni is one that is attainable by every man.
Just have to say, whoever is reading has to read slowly and clearly because the acoustics jumble the words together and then it becomes hard to hear you. You have to pronounce every last letter. Okay, like, not I want to. You have to say, I want to do this, not I want to do. What's a want to do? I know, I come from Toronto. Okay, again.
Now, the rank of the Beinoni
Beautiful.
is one that is attainable by every man. Each person should strive after it if he has not yet attained it and should not think it beyond his reach.
You got that? That's a very important point. This is our goal. And it's not impossible. How is it not impossible? It seems impossible. It says the Beinoni never did anything wrong in his or her life. How am I going to deal with that? Remember the story? The man who, the Jewish person, became a Christian priest and wanted to return to his Jewish roots. What's the story? Rabbi Castell brought him to the Rebbe on a Sunday and told him what I just told you. And the Rebbe gave him $1 for charity, the tzedakah, to encourage him to returning to his Jewish roots. And then Rabbi Castell jumped back as the line was pushing them on and said, Rebbe, he wants to know what he should do to atone for his past. And what did the Rebbe do? He had $1 in one hand, and his left hand he went like this, and he said, he has no past. Wiped it away. He has no past. How do I understand that? Is the Rebbe just cleaned up the whole thing for him? Now it's up to him. If he's going to dwell on the past in his mind and recall and experience the same feelings all over again, then he falls back. But if he cleans his mind himself and does not allow any of these extraneous thoughts back into his mind, then he has no past. He has no past. And that is the power of tshuva that can actually transform the past. And that's the answer to the question, how can I be a Beinoni when it says a Beinoni never did a transgression, and I have done transgressions? And the answer is that you could do tshuva. To do tshuva, that means we have to serve Hashem with love. I love Hashem, I love Torah, I love mitzvahs, and with discipline, and I will not stray. Right? Like at the first page of the Tanya, the first lines. They swear, before you were born, you were made to swear an oath that you would be righteous and you would not be wicked. Be righteous means I'm going to love, serve God with life, love, do everything with love, embrace everything Hashem's going to tell me what to do in the Torah. I'm going to write a letter to the Rebbe, whatever he says I'm going to do. And I'm not going to be wicked. I'm going to push away anything that Hashem doesn't want me to be involved with. You can do it. You can do it. That's what he just says right here. I'm not making it up. Each person should strive after it. And he should not think it's beyond his or her reach. Okay. That was excellent, Abigail. Look how much you taught us. Read another one.
For every person can, at any time or hour, be a Beinoni.
There you go.
Because a Beinoni does not abhor evil, unlike the Tzaddik, he does not find worldly pleasures revolting and loathsome.
There you go. So the tzaddik does find worldly pleasures revolting. Can you imagine that? Hard to imagine being revolted. Find it revolting? Well, that's because that's how a tzaddik lives. There's a story that there was from the Tzemach Tzedek. There was a priest from a time when priests used to make trouble for Jews and try to convert them and force them to convert and torture them. Just take young kids and torture them so they should convert. And this priest felt challenged by the Tzemach Tzedek. I guess it was Greek Orthodox because he was married. Roman Catholics, I don't think, are allowed to marry. So he had a wife, and she was voluptuous. And they decided that they were going to embarrass the Tzemach Tzedek. The same way Aristotle had the same story. You know, Aristotle taught, he was a philosopher 2,000 years ago, and he taught his students the same lesson. Can't mess around. You're going to be a philosopher, you can't be a hedonist. And so the student had a girlfriend, and she didn't like his new approach. So she said, I'll fix his wagon. And she came and tried to seduce the philosopher Aristotle. And when he gave in to her wiles, he said, aren't you telling us we're not supposed to do this? He says, yeah, but now I'm not Aristotle. So they wanted to do the same trick with the Tzemach Tzedek. So the wife of this priest came in extremely immodest dress and appeared before Tzemach Tzedek. What did the Tzemach Tzedek do? He vomited. He did not look to see exactly what was before him. One glance was enough. He brought up. It was repulsive. It was disgusting. Same thing happened to Rabbi Akiva. You know this. Rabbi Akiva was not married anymore. His wife had passed away. And he was also, Turnus Rufus was the name of the governor of the Middle East then. And he had also a very beautiful wife. And they wanted to fix his wagon, Rabbi Akiva. And so she appeared to him, she went to see him in immodestly clothed. And he didn't vomit, but he started to cry. She said, what? She wasn't used to men crying when they met her. And he said, why are you crying? She said, why are you crying? Rabbi, why are you crying? He said, because it's so painful to me to see that Hashem could create such a beautiful creature and the beauty should be used for evil, to get people to sin. And she left. She didn't say anything. She left. Several years later, maybe 2 years later, I don't know, it doesn't say how long. This is written in the book of Rabbi Akiva's life, called Akiva by Marcus Lehman. Very interesting book. And she came, and this very modest-looking woman came to see him. And she said, do you recognize me? And she said, I'm the same, I was formerly the wife of Turnus Rufus. And I became a Jew. And it would be my greatest honor if you would allow me to take care of you in your old age. So you see the difference between a tzaddik who finds evil, anything evil from klippa, loathsome and disgusting, like a horse can't deal with a camel. So a tzaddik cannot deal with evil because the tzaddik finds indulging in selfish pleasures revolting and loathsome. We have to get this into our heads. It's very heavy material. Okay. The Beinoni does not find it loathsome or revolting. Why? Della, can you read the next words? It's very important.
For this is a matter entrusted to the heart, and as explained earlier, the Beinoni has yet to conquer the evil in his heart. Consequently, he does not loathe evil.
You hear this? There's a profound difference between the setting of your heart, the way it is, like the default settings in your heart, and the discipline that has to be in your heart. They're two completely different levels. They're as far apart as the North Pole and the South Pole. The tzaddik has complete control of his heart. The tzaddik does not want to have anything to do with anything that's against the supreme will of God, as defined by Jewish law, available to everybody in the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, the code of Jewish law. The tzaddik will not have anything to do with anything that's prohibited in the realm of Jewish law. And the Beinoni wants to, but holds himself back. And that's called something Mosur Lalev, that you can't program your heart to love God or to despise evil. What is the definition of evil? Anything the Torah says is forbidden is evil. That's the definition. That's what it is. Now, it's not dogma because there's reasons for everything and there's tradition behind everything. It all comes from Mount Sinai. But it is what it is. That's it. There's no room. It's not, Jewish law is not pick and choose. This thing appeals to me. This thing does not appeal to me. I'm not going to do it. At least add one word. Yet. I'm not going to do it yet. I know that's where I have to be. And please God, I'll get there sooner than later. Just to leave you with a note on an idea on this note. A person says, I don't know how to daven. I don't know what I should think about during davening. What should I think about when I daven? The Tanya says, think about the greatness of Hashem. How do I do that? Open your eyes. Look around you. Look at camels. It should inspire you with awe that Hashem could create an environment where a camel can live and flourish and be useful to mankind because it can carry valuable goods through long distances for days and nights without food or drink. It's amazing. And he can create the animal, the beast, and he can create the environment where it will flourish and no other creature will. It's absolutely amazing. I mean, how did people talk about evolution? There's no way that the pads on the feet of a camel, which spread out, like ducks, web feet spread out for efficiency. The pads on the foot of a camel spread out when he walks on sand so he doesn't sink. How could that evolve into a split hoof or from a split hoof? What a split hoof is? Two separate hooves, like horses' hooves. Pads are not hooves. Who taught the camel to do this? Because Hashem created the whole thing like that. So that's one idea about how one can think about the greatness of Hashem. Look now in the spring, how the world is coming alive, and enjoy with awe the show that Hashem is putting out in front of us. Take a look down Eastern Parkway, early in the morning, you'll see the moon setting. Who keeps it going around the earth all these years? Everything in the world wears out. How come the moon never wears out? How come the sun never wears out? Never uses up all its fuel? There are different spheres, but they're invisible. We can see through the spheres, so the moon and the sun, which are in a different sphere from us, we live in a sphere where things wear out, and they are in a sphere where things do not wear out. So there's a lot to marvel at in Hashem's creation, and when we then meditate on the things that we see around us, we can acquire a tremendous sense of awe, and respect, and discipline for the laws of life, which are created by Hashem. Now, I'll give you one other thought, which is somebody said to me once, You want to know how you daven? There are three things you have to think about when you daven. You have to think about what you could be. You have your potential. You have to think about what you should be. Like you should be a tzaddik. That oath was administered to you before you came into this world as a baby. You swore that you would be a tzaddik. That's what you should be. And you have to think about what you are. What you should be, what you could be, and what you are, that's something to pray for. When you see the difference, you've got what to pray for. Hashem should help. Thank you very much. That's our class for today. So the point of this class is that everybody can be a Beinoni. The tzaddik abhors and loathes anything against Torah and Hashem, and the Beinoni does not abhor and loathe it. He knows, he trains himself or herself to stay away. Don't mess with Klippa. Don't think it's interesting. Don't think that you should explore the realms of evil. There are 4 levels of Klippa. Don't go exploring because you may not get out. One good thing leads to another. One mitzvah leads to another. One aberration from mitzvahs will lead, unfortunately, to yet another. It weakens you. Baruch atah Adonai lemelech haolam. Born nefashos rabos v'chesreinon al kel masha barasa laha yes b'hem nefesh kol chaim baruch kei ha'olamim. So you see, the Tanya is a very deep book. It's not so terribly hard to understand, but it's very, very challenging. Thank you, everybody. Tomorrow, come in 8:30. That's your session. What? Thank you for your help, Abigail and Bella, and actually, and everybody. Thank you all for your. You're all my teachers.
Okay, I'll address all by the way. Yeah. Well, I hear that from. Yeah. I'm here for like. How much? 78. I don't know. Ja, jest pisał. Jest pisał. Ja już pisał. Бам! А перевешал. Я девушка. Подожди. Что ты туда зашла? Давай. Ты была на шаббат? Да. Ага. Oh, she was like that. You? Yeah. Понял. Что поняла? Она у меня в маникюре была. Да? А ты как сейчас поняла, что? После я, который написала, она написала, говорящий. Действительно. Который я сказала, Whatever you have. Mom, are you going to talk about? What are you going to talk about? No way. No way. Моя подружка. Есть, да, мама. Да, подружка, которая есть. Это не Дашка. А кольцо ты какое смотрел? Я, блин. Ну а что было, что он тоже смотрел на нее? Кольцо. Не похоже. Ну, так, недостаточно карат. Нормально такое у нас сразу. Сойдет на для молодого мужчины. Я потому что вот такое сделал. Я не беру. А мы говоришь, как ты? Сама ты всем говоришь. Гонишь. Я в африке. А за кого? Что ты в африке? А кольцо-то хорошее, мне понравилось. Да, сказала. Помни? Ну, пиши. Да. Да не, ладно, не хороший. Ой, чего сейчас? Ложечки какие. Чего слушает? Чего он платит? Вы его обижаете? А он really being real with himself. We always do here. But I feel like it could be. As I remove this. Я думаю, что все было хорошо. Работа. Або кашу робити. Це було. Я робила, що буде зігнути експерт. Ну, так, I don't get that. Она типа поживает. But it's going to be smaller or very вас идеально. Ой, какие мальчики. Я не знаю. Если его побили, мне кажется, что он... Я тоже не думала, что так возраст, но было просто мне как лица было кольцо. Тебе не нужна, ты смеешься. Неплохое, неплохое. Непонятно. Ну, есть правильно. Ну, это и маникюр еще делала много правых, молодец. А, он сидит, что ты хочешь? А, ну что ли? К нему? А где он? Он там возьмет. А, я не вижу. Ну, молодой. Я наверняка уже сколько. Ну, ей помнить. По-моему, остановила. Мне кажется, yeah, including the learning. Yeah, shit, I don't know what to do. А вариант нормально, там, наверное, одеваю view. Every year we do here. I hate it. Push my nose like outfits. Я больше человек, надо колорить симпатии. А что, кому сказали? Кому сказали? Нет, потому что унесло. That's like burning. I'm not Russian. I don't hate you.
Ну, меня воспитала, прочитала. А? У нас есть прикол. Привет.
Я случайно нашел как по планировке сухарей.
Еще найдите в Сапиоку, или как нет, Сапиоку, вот та икра там, которая на А, она не кошерная. Ну, у нас кошерная тоже, конечно. Не знаю, у нас кошерная.
Я тебе
Пиока, это которая от кофе.
А ты сколько? Я
Арон. Я обожаю, и когда мы можем истории, я тебя спрашиваю, заберу тебя оставаю. Наконец, ой. Она же нормально комьюнити. Они их спородим. Юбилеем. Мне кажется, я чую. Всем мне нравится. Oh, good. You know, that's great. Yeah. No, it's awesome.